everyone, I'm Allison Davis, and today I'll be telling my adaptation of Hans Christian Andersen's The Steadfast Tin Soldier. This is a special story about remaining true to yourself and to your heart. Let's begin. "Tin soldiers!" the little boy exclaimed happily. He had just received 25 tin soldiers as a birthday gift. He was taking them out of their box and placing them on a table in a room filled with toys. The soldiers were brothers, for they had been made from the same spoon. They all seemed to be the same, standing at attention, rifles over their shoulders, smart red and blue uniforms. All but one, who only had one leg because there had not been enough tin from the spoon to finish him. He stood as firm and steadfast as his brothers did on their 2 legs. Of all the toys on the table, there was one that stood out to the tin soldier, for it was a grand and lovely castle made of paper. It was surrounded by trees, and there was a little mirrored lake in front, where swans swam. But most lovely about the castle was the paper ballerina who stood in the entrance. She was dressed all in white, with a blue ribbon draped around her neck, which was fastened by a brilliant spangle. The tin soldier was immediately taken with her, and because she stood with her arms outstretched, on one leg only, with the other hitched under her skirt, he thought, "She only has one leg, like me. She would make a perfect wife for me. But I am just a soldier who lives in a box with his 24 brothers. I'm afraid she's above me. I'd still like to meet her, though." When all the children had gone to bed and the playroom had gone silent, the toys began to play. There was so much noise they woke the sleeping canary, who gave them quite a piece of her mind. The only ones who stood still were the tin soldier and the paper ballerina. His eyes never left her. She stood as steadfast on the toes of her one leg as the soldier stood. But suddenly, there was a loud pop, and out of a nearby box jumped an ugly troll. The Jack-in-the-Box screamed at the tin soldier, "Tin soldier, keep your eyes to yourself." The tin soldier acted as though he didn't even hear the troll. "You just wait until tomorrow," the troll threatened, before disappearing back into his box. For a moment, the tin soldier worried over what the Jack-in-the-Box meant, but his thoughts wandered slowly back to the lovely paper ballerina. The next morning, when the little boy was dressed and ready for his day of playing, he placed the tin soldier on the windowsill. And though he cannot prove it, the tin soldier is sure what happened next was because of the troll. The tin soldier suddenly fell and became stuck in the stones of the street. The boy and the sweet maid looked for him, but they didn't see him. 2 boys passing by did, though, and one of them said, "He'll make a perfect sailor for our boat." They placed the tin soldier in a paper boat and placed him in the rushing waters of the gutter. The boys ran beside him, cheering until the boat and the tin soldier were swept underneath the board that covered the gutter. As the boat churned in the choppy water and the soldier could not see for the darkness, he trembled inside and thought of the paper ballerina. But on the outside, he stood steadfast and looked straight ahead. The boat suddenly picked up speed, and the tin soldier could hear rushing waters and see light ahead. He was heading for the canal where all the water dropped out. "How will it all end?" he thought to himself. There was no hope of stopping the boat. It fell through the waterfall into the canal, and being made of paper, began to sink and fall apart. The tin soldier stood tall, though water was up to his neck, and continued to think only of the lovely paper ballerina. But before he could sink to the bottom, he was swallowed up by a hungry fish. It was dark, and the fish moved oddly, and then didn't move much at all. The tin soldier heard strange noises, and eventually he wondered, could those be voices? A bright light suddenly shone on the tin soldier, and the sweet maid exclaimed, "A tin soldier! Why, he only has one leg," she said curiously. The tin soldier was taken out of the fish that the maid had bought at the market, cleaned up, and placed on the same spot on his table. What a day, he thought as he gazed at the paper ballerina. She had not moved, and still stood tall on her one leg, arms outstretched toward the tin soldier. How wonderful to be back, he thought. Without warning, the little boy picked the tin soldier up and threw him into the little stove that warmed the room. The tin soldier wasn't sure if the great heat he felt was caused by the fire or by his love. The colors of his uniform had disappeared, and the tin soldier knew that he was melting. He stared at the paper ballerina, and she stared back. A breeze from the open window picked the paper ballerina up and flew her right into the little stove. She flared up all at once and was gone. The next day, when the sweet maid was cleaning the stove, she found a little heart made of tin with a brilliant spangle into it. The end. Thank you for listening. Bye.